Hello students, today we will discuss O.N.V. Kurup's poem Earthen Pots. O.N.V. Kurup was born in 1931. He is a Malayalam poet, prose writer and lyricist. His works speak on behalf of those in darkness and attempt to break the chains of oppression from 1946 when his first poem Manuttu was published. He has published prolifically, including works such as Ujjaini and even a collection of poems for children. O.N.V. Kurup is a prominent poet, prose writer, lyricist, and professor of Malayalam. He was born to O.N. Krishna and K. Lakshmi Kutti Amma on May 27, 1931, at Chavara, Kollam in Kerala. He lost his father when he was 8 years old. He attended the government school in his native village, Chavara. He graduated with a bachelor degree in economics from SN College, Kollam. Then he moved to Thiruvananthapuram city, Trivandrum, where he joined Travancore University, now called Kerala University. He passed his MA in Malayalam literature. O.N.V. Kurup was a lecturer at Maharaja College, Immaculum, University College, Trivandrum, Arts and Science College, Kozhikode, and Brennan College, Thalassery. He joined Government Women's College, Trivandrum, as the head of the Malayalam department. He was also a visiting professor at Calicut University. O.N.V. Kurup's full name is Ottaplavel Neelkandan Velu Kurup, but he is popularly known only as O.N.V. He is a famous Malayalam poet. He is acknowledged as one of the greatest living poets in India. He is also a lyricist in Malayalam cinema. He received the Padam Shri Award from the Government of India in 1998. He is a prolific writer whose works are too numerous to be counted. Some of his poetic works are The Desert, Blue Eyes, Peacock Feather, One Drop of Light, Five Moths, The Letter, Song of a Blackbird, The Salt, A Dirge of the Earth, Nonsense Letters, Afternoon, Vijayani, Gratis, Swamvara. His collection of 1500 songs was published with the title Songs of O.N.V. He also wrote poems for children. How long have we remained here thus? Two empty earthen pots gazing at each other, close by in the potter's yard, so close they softly brushing against each other, and not quite sure whether touching or not, gazing at each other in exhaustible jest. We two earthen pots, those who from golden goblets drink red wine, may dismiss us in contempt and extreme scorn, for we are made for the poor simple folk. We are cheap and may easily break. True, yet we are good enough to store the blessed gift of earth, water clear and pure, within our hold unpolluted. Though we are mere earthen pots, even our makers do not know where tomorrow we shall be. Hundreds like us who are crowded here are waiting for some unknown buyer to lift us up and hold us to the ear and with a finger stroke quality test us by the sound. If satisfied, he buys one and walks away, followed by our sighs that bind us in one thought of woe, an intense sense of loss, of one who was one among us, and one of us take hold of us. Ah, when does our turn come to depart? And when it comes, who would be the first to leave? Kurup originally wrote this poem in Malayalam and K. Sridharan Nair translated it in English. Kurup employs the symbol of to talk about individuals who are seen as merely lacking any significant value in themselves. The poet speaks about the ties that bind these pots to the attachment to each other and their sense of loss when a part of their midst is taken away. The metaphor of earthen pots is systematically used by the poets. Kurup imparts greater significance to the title of the poem by equating the mud pots to human lives, though never stated outright, underlying the entire concept of man as essentially a thing of earth. Earthen pot speaks to the that the pots lack identity and they are not given any significant value. The poet's choice of words used in the poem speaks to the theme of lack of identity or a search for identity. The following words identify the pot's search for identity and knowledge: empty, not quite sure, inexhaustible, dismiss us, simply cheap, hundreds, like us, woes, loss, and depart. The pot's story, as told within the lines of the poem, explain the fears, apprehension, and self doubt of the pots, which they feel while waiting to be chosen to be used. Not feeling any different from another, the pot seems to understand what it is like to fail to have an identity over having one. The pots also understand the difference between themselves and the golden goblets, which are used for drinking wine. The pots have been dismissed by those who have chosen the goblets because of their contempt and scorn for the earthen pots. The pots therefore understand the social class structure, the worthlessness associated with being cheap and easily broken, and the lack of individual identity. The remaining pots, those are left behind, have a deep sense of sorrow and loss. These remaining pieces are unaware of the fact when their turn will come to be picked up when they have to leave. O.N.V. Kurup has equated the earthen pots to human beings. This simply holds that the earthen pots and the human beings are same. The poet has underlined the concept of man as essential earth. The Bible says to man, "For dust thou art, and unto thou written." Human beings, like the earthen pots, do not have individual identity. They don't know that who shall be picked up and who among them shall be the first. The earthen pots lament when one of them leaves them. Similarly, when man dies, the survivors lament for him. In this way, the poem has a deeper meaning than the surface meaning. The symbols are perfect, and the comparison between earthen pots and human being is most appropriate. On the whole, the poem is memorable because of the simile of earthen pots and men. In addition to exploring the theme of lack of identity, Kurup also examines the theme of an unknown destiny. Throughout the poem, Kurup illustrates indistinguishable earthen pots that are the mercy of those customers who choose to buy them. The earthen pots question and discuss their destiny as they ponder what tomorrow will bring. Kurup portrays hundreds of earthen pots waiting for an unknown buyer to select them. He mentions that even the makers do not know who will buy each pot. After an unknown buyer selects their desired earthen pot, the other pots on the shelf collectively mourn the loss of the chosen pots. The poem ends with the pots questioning their destiny by asking, "When does our turn come to depart, and when it comes, who will be the first to leave?" The theme of unknown destiny relates to the other issues presented throughout the poem. The pots are not in control of their lives and are at the mercy of the customers. Unable to determine their own destiny, they passively sit on the shelf and hope they are selected. This lack of choice is parallel to the destiny of human beings. Thank you very much.